All right, so Rodgers, again, saying the standard for him is not going to be the standard for a normal rookie we've had in the past. And it took Devontae Adams time to make plays for Aaron Rodgers, took Jordy Nelson time to make plays for Aaron Rodgers. We know what the situation is, though. Allen Lazard, the proven veteran, along with Randall Cobb, and we'll see what Sammy Watkins still has to offer. But they have a lot invested based on what they'll need in terms of Christian Watson, who is just starting to get back to practice after a knee injury, and Romeo Doubs, who's played very well in the preseason. So, Dave, we said this a lot. Lazard's going to be the first receiver drafted for Green Bay. Is Doubs the second guy, and when should he come off the board?
I think for now, and maybe through the end of this week, Doubs will be the second guy because people have seen Doubs. So he'll end up being maybe a round 12 type pick. But I don't know if a week from now that's going to be the case because Christian Watson's back at practice and Christian Watson is making plays at practice. And Rodgers talked in that same scrum with the media about how he's working with Watson on making route adjustments, meaning he's got to learn how to read defenses better and make adjustments. I think Doubs has to do the exact same thing. And so there could come a point, and it could be sooner than later, where Watson overtakes Doubs. Doubs has been good. I love the touchdown that he had last week. But I think Watson's got a chance to be better, and the fact that he's healthy gives him an opportunity to maybe make that impact sooner than later. But all that being said, Jamie, Sammy Watkins is still there. This is a team, a franchise especially, that's been slow to develop their receivers. You mentioned that. So right now it's Doubs. A week from now it might be Watson. And right before the season, it could be cutting both those guys for a different receiver or a different player on a completely different team.
And I think that's the key is if I'm going to use a roster spot in a draft on Doubs or Watson, I have to do it with the idea that I'm probably not going to get anything out of them the first month. I do expect that we're going to start the season with Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Sammy Watkins in the starting lineup. And I think what I took away from that clip was it sounds like Aaron Rodgers has much more confidence right now in Romeo Doubs than he does in Christian Watson. Now, he's had a lot more practice time with him, but he's had a lot of good things in that same scrum about Watson. And then when he turned to Doubs, it was the expectations are going to be different for that guy. So I've got Doubs in round 12, Watson more of a round 15 type pick, and Sammy Watkins right there with him.
Yeah, I think what we'll end up seeing, and this could be something that we start talking about in a week or two, of what you do to beat the waiver wire for week one. And it would not be a surprise if we're talking a lot about the Packers receivers early in the season because Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson struggled, to Dave's point, and maybe we're pivoting to Randall Cobb and Sammy Watkins, which could be a mistake because we know those guys have a hard time staying healthy and being productive, but certainly players that could be impactful in different ways. This receiving core, one that we're going to keep an eye on. Allen Lazard is easily the one to target, and he's coming off the board in some cases round 6. We prefer him in that round 7 range, though.